Hi there, little dreamers. Welcome back to Storytime with Fairy Holly. I hope you've been staying magical and being kind. I have another story I would love to share with you. This one is about fairies again. I hope you don't mind all the fairy stories I've been sharing. I just love to keep the magic of fairies alive in all of your hearts. Is it working? Are you loving all the fairy stories? I hope so. If you are, make sure you hit the like button below. Tonight's story is called The Midnight Fairies. You know, midnight? When the clock strikes 12, when we're all fast asleep in our beds. Well, I hope you're fast asleep in your bed at midnight. I know I am. Well, if you're ready to dive into the magic, if you've snuggled down, if you've found your comfy spot, then you must be ready to listen along. The Midnight Fairies. Megan was staying with Grandma for a few days while Mum was away. Megan always had fun at Grandma's. At the bottom of Grandma's garden, there was a big old oak tree with a swing where Megan would love to play. On the second night of Megan's visit, she was getting ready for bed. Megan realized that she'd lost her pretty flower necklace. Megan and her grandma looked everywhere, but they couldn't find it. Megan began to cry. "Mum gave me that necklace," she said tearfully. "It's really special." Grandma gave Megan a big hug. "Don't worry, we'll look in the garden tomorrow," she promised. "I'm sure it'll be there." Megan settled down to sleep, but she tossed and turned and finally woke up again. She couldn't stop thinking about her lost necklace. Getting out of bed, she went to look out at the garden where she'd hoped she might see it. Somewhere in the distance, a clock chimed once, twice, 12 times. "Midnight," Megan thought. Suddenly, Megan's eyes opened wide. At the bottom of the moonlit garden, where the wildflowers grew, lights began to twinkle and twinkle, and shimmering shapes seemed to dance in the air. I wonder what it could be. Fairies had come out to play. There was a firefly, a little red-haired fairy, Moon Blossom, a fairy with hair like finely spun silk, Night Tangle, a fairy with cheeks like rose petals, and Stardust, a fairy with glimmering pink wings. Together, the 4 fairies danced and skipped through the air, laughing as they flitted from flower to flower. All at once, Firefly spotted something, a silver necklace, gleaming in the grass. "Look," she said to her friends. "I wonder who this belongs to." "Maybe it's that little girl's," said Night Tangle, pointing up to the window where Megan was looking out. "She looks very sad, as if she's lost something special." "I wish we could make her smile again," said Moon Blossom. "Oh, what nice fairies." The fairies looked at one another and knew they were all thinking the same thing. First, they tucked the necklace necklace safely behind a stone. Then together they flew across the garden and straight up to Megan's window. As Megan gasped with amazement and delight, Stardust sprinkled her with glittering fairy dust. "Now you'll be able to fly with us," the fairies said happily. Wow, how special! With a fairy holding each hand, Megan whooshed out the window and flew down to the bottom of the garden. When they landed, Stardust introduced herself and her friends. "We are the Midnight Fairies," she explained. "Every night at midnight, we come out to dance and play in the moonlight. Will you be our friend and play with us tonight?" "Of course I will," said Megan happily. With the moon beaming down and the friendly stars twinkling above, Megan and the fairies danced amongst the wildflowers. The cool grass tickled Megan's toes, and the fairies' laughter sounded like tiny crystal bells. Megan laughed with them and felt happier than she had ever felt before. When Megan was too tired to dance anymore, Firefly said, "We have a surprise for you." And she brought out Megan's silver necklace. "My necklace!" cried Megan. "You found it! Oh, thank you!" As Firefly gave the necklace back, Stardust sprinkled magic fairy dust over it. A beautiful fairy appeared in place of the flower. "Oh," breathed Megan. "It's you! It's a Midnight Fairy." "Yes," said Firefly, "but please don't tell anyone how it got there, or we might lose our magic." "I promise," replied Megan. As she put on her necklace, Megan realized that she could barely keep her eyes open. With the Midnight Fairies fluttering over her, she curled up under the oak tree and fell asleep until the morning when she woke up, tucked up in her cozy bed in Grandma's house. "How did I get back here?" Megan wondered. "Was it just a dream?" She reached up to her neck, and there was her necklace, right where it should be. "Hello," said Grandma cheerfully, opening the bedroom door. "Grandma, look," said Megan. "I have my necklace back. Did you find it?" "No, dear," said Grandma with a puzzled look. She peered down at the necklace. "Oh, how lovely," she said. "I hadn't noticed the fairy before." The Midnight Fairies, Megan thought to herself. So it wasn't a dream after all. "I wonder how your necklace got back here," said Grandma, scratching her head. Megan smiled as she looked out towards the garden. She knew the answer. But it was a secret that belonged to her and the Midnight Fairies. Fairies, the wonderful magical friends she would never, ever forget. The end. What a beautiful story all about the Midnight Fairies. There you go. So now you know the secret. When the clock strikes midnight, that means there's some special fairies out in your garden. You might just catch a glimpse of their twinkling wings if you happen to wake up at that time. But remember, that's when you're most supposed to be fast asleep, dreaming of unicorns and dragons and all things magical. Stay magical and be kind, little dreamers. Don't forget to like my story if you enjoyed. Share it with a friend if you think they too would enjoy my story. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on any magic with me. I'm Fairy Holly, and I'll see you next time on Storytime with Fairy Holly. Bye!